In this video, I'm covering my pre-release. First of all, I got this pre-release pack, which is legal. So right away, I'm seeing Aqua Seeing Shell, and I'm pretty happy about that because I think this head slot is really good, especially in Enigma. And I was happy to see the red Wind Chakra as well, just because it looks so beautiful in foiling. And I'm going to start going through my packs here, sorting by class. And I pile my generics and my mystic cards together. I did pull out my chi cards and keep those separate because I wanted to evaluate those when I'm thinking about what heroes I wanted to play. First, I like to start with just my class cards and see what kind of depth I have there. And then I go a little bit further into my generics and mystics. For this pre-release, this was my second one. The first time I played a Enigma, and there's a card I really wanted to see, the I believe it's called Sky Blessed Kimono. It's a little bit off the frame there, but that card, or is it Koi Blessed? I can't remember, but that card won me several games at this event. I was really happy with how that played. And as I was saying, my prior pre-release, I had played Enigma. I liked it, but I wasn't really seeing the cards I wanted to see yet in Enigma. I was definitely seeing some cards for Zen at this point, as well as some cards for new. I believe at this point I've already pooled maybe one red hiss, and there was a blue there as well. But I'll be honest, I didn't really feel drawn to playing new. And I've played a lot of Zen online. I don't really know how well that translates. And this 10,000 year reunion wasn't enough to pull me back into Enigma. I had a lot of yellows in Enigma. I also had a lot of obviously no blocks, which is always going to be a problem. Here's where I start thinking more about Assassin, though, as the red venomous bite. That Battlefront Bastion, I think, is one of the best cards in the set. Being able to be a 3-for-7 that also has a prevention effect attached to it feels really good. And so right now, I'm definitely seeing mostly cards that I want to run either new or Zen. And and I think at this point, once I saw that card, I knew I was going into Zen. Those boots are great, especially in limited. They have the ability and constructed to really pool a big turn together, but in limited, they're especially nice because those small incidents of one damage really are where Zen makes up a lot of value. Now, I also just cracked a red Nimblism. I don't know if it's shown yet or not, but I did get a red Nimble Strike. I did crack a blue Nimblism, and I had a Water the Seeds that was blue. So by this point, I'm feeling pretty confident that I want to play Zen. I've seen several Untames. So ultimately, I do end up deciding to go with Zen. There's probably quite a bit more here before I end up realizing that that's where I want to go. So I look at my equipment first, and I see that one of the actually look here. I don't look at my equipment first. But when I do look at my equipment, I'll tell you what I see. I see that I have the combo headpiece. I also have that the headpiece from my pre-release pack, which would be able to draw me a card, but in Zen that didn't really feel as relevant as being able to get a combo piece back that I will be able to tutor. And I'm glad I went with that decision. It definitely won me games being able to play my red key unleashed twice. Um and I don't know that the card draw would have really done me any good. Also, I believe there's one higher block value on the mask. So now I'm going through there. I do have a cold foil of the Aqua Seeing Shell, but ultimately that is not a card I can play in limited, but I did pull it out because it looks really nice. So I went with the Mask of Wizened Whiskers and the boots as well as the kimono. And like I said, kimono won me several games. One time it won blocking with the Mask of Wizened Whiskers on a 3 attack to go to 1 and put my pouncing links or pouncing key. Sorry, key unleashed. The problem with these cards, they all get mixed up to me. Right now you'll see I'm going through my Enigma pool just to see if it's worth running because I did pull that 10,000 year reunion, and I believe I'm coming to the conclusion that I don't have enough cards that have +1 counters on. And this is where I really begin to see that I have pretty much all the Zen cards I want in common. I have 4 Untamed. I have some Flex Claws, Breed Anger, Biting Breeze, and several of the Tiger incantations, the Harmonies. So I have pretty much everything I need to make a good Zen deck. I just need to begin to figure out what to cut from there. And because new doesn't really interest me, I give this just a quick sort, but I'm never really honestly reading these cards too closely. I think I counted how many of the unpreventable damage ones there were. I made note of how many double troubles I had, but this wasn't really a list that I foresaw myself on anyway. So it didn't matter too much. Um, but when I saw the Zen list, I felt pretty confident that my ability as a ninja player would translate to this limited format, um, especially knowing that I didn't have my big power combo cards, but I had 2 Key Unleashed. One of them was in blue, and I found some fun ways to make that just as good, if not better, than the red. And we'll see that as I go through here. Um, I believe it's first tenet of Chi Tide, which gives your next blue card +2. So I was able to, on one hand, play 2 of those, followed up by pitching a Chi, and then pitching for that, and I believe it came in for 9. So I was pretty happy with Blue Key Unleashed. It's not a card that I play in Constructed. I think it's bad in Constructed. I would rather just run any 2-card 7 than have to run that and jump through extra hoops, even if I can tutor for it. Um, I would rather have Mauling Key. So now I am starting to go through these, and I think at this point I'm just pulling out cards that I immediately strike me as cards that I want. Um, Pretty sure all the fact finding missions I just said I don't care. I don't need to be able to throw 6, especially if the cards that I'm worried about are going to prevent 1 damage, or they're going to have ward. either they have ward 1 or as an instant destroy them and they prevent 1. I'm throwing enough small incidental damage that those weren't really something that I felt like I needed to know uh, throughout the course of a game. Obviously, the equipment pieces, if you flip those and their ability happens when they flip, you've essentially removed them from the game. But I ruled those out pretty quickly. I also ruled out Evasive Leap. Um I think that card is pretty good, but I mean for limited, I think it's okay. It's pretty good in Enigma. So now I'm making my cuts to my ninja pool, and the first thing I want to get rid of is Blessing of Ki. Now, and this other card here that costs 2. It makes a tiger. I'm forgetting the name of it, but these are the cards that I really don't like in this set. Specifically, Blessing of Ki. A little bit of story time. When the spoilers were coming out on February, I was going a little bit crazy because there was a playset of ninja cards that had not been revealed after everything else had been revealed. And if you played the Ira deck from the Tolarian Community College Round the Table product, you'll know that there are 2 ninja cards that have not seen a complete playset, and those are Growl, which comes in red and yellow currently, and Tiger Eye Reflex, which is a block card with Ambush that makes a tiger that comes in yellow and blue. So red would complete that cycle as a 4 block. I was really excited for the potential of getting that card. And I love Benji, so a blue Growl was also really exciting. So those were what I wanted more than anything in the world from that unresolved playset of common cards. And when it was Blessing of Ki, I think I almost threw my computer across the room. Obviously, I wasn't that mad. I'm being hyperbolic. But as a ninja player who really wanted to see that cycle complete, to be given a non-attack action there in its place that is not a defense reaction or a block card was painful. So if you have any Blessing of Keys and you see me at an event and you would like me to tear a card up for you, I would prefer you give me those over anything else. I would love to rip that card for you. If you would like me to stab it or burn it, whatever you would like me to do to dispose of that card for you, I would be happy to. Now, I think here is where I start to go through filling out the rest of the list. And I'm going to fast forward here because I've already done about 15 minutes of talking on this video. And you'll see. But what I do want to point out is I end up making a few changes throughout the course of my games. I go into round 1 with 3 chi, and I decide that's too many. So I come out and I take out the chi that gives go again to a card so that I'm only playing chi cards that do not have a condition. So Path Well Traveled right there gets cut. And it gets cut in favor for Droplet, which I'm considering on the side there. And Droplet, if you've played a blue, gets +2. This is another card that works really well with the Tide. So you are able to just play first Tentative Chi Tide and then Droplet, and it's coming in for 6. So 2 card 6 feels pretty nice, especially when they're blue cards. So that's one change I made. I also later, I believe I took out a few more. I took out a few cards. I'm not entirely sure I remember what they were, but I believe what I added in was more droplets. I think that was the number one thing that I decided I wanted from this this between rounds from my sideboarding. Now my prize packs, you'll notice in my sealed pool I have 1M and it's 10,000 year reunion, and my prize packs I got 4 packs. I got 1M in those and it was 10,000 year reunion. I think that card's kind of bad. I think it's a bit of a win more card, especially if you're someone like me who likes to play a lot of ninjas. There's not much difference between Ward 10 and Ward 1 if you're throwing 7 attacks on the combat chain. Now, obviously, if they have a large board state, yes, you can keep that around and throw some big damage, but I in constructed, I think I play around my Tearing Shuko pretty well. Or I'm sorry, my Tiger Stripe Shuko, I believe is what it's called. So we'll fast forward here, and I will show you the final list that I ended up on.
Ah, the great outdoors, where the air is crisp and clean. Take a deep breath. Let it fill your lungs like the aroma of a freshly cracked pack, and listen to the sounds of the babbling brook, where water dances over rock like the shuffle of a double-sleeved deck. Can't you just feel the breeze gently directing you to gscfab.com, where you can get your tickets to Camp Greentree, a flesh and blood summer camp happening August 16th through the 18th? Well, I know I'll be there. Stay pizza.
Here we have the deck that I ended up finishing on. Some of the cards that didn't always make it into the list were cards like Emissary of Wind, Wounding Blow, and Droplet. Ultimately, I got rid of the Chi card that gives Go Again and just went with the +1 and the ability to put an action card from my graveyard on the bottom of my deck. That way, with this and my mask, I would be able to play Key Unleashed red for a total of 3 times in a game, if that's what I needed to do. So, Grain That Tips the Scales was probably the hardest card to play in the deck because it requires an attack action. I think every other card can just be played out. So that was one that I would consider maybe cutting. If you had the Chi card that lets you draw a card and then put a card on the bottom of your deck, I think I would run that over Grain That Tips the Scales, just in case you are in a situation where you have either First Tenet of Chi Tide or Nimbalism, and you don't have an attack action. You can play that card, transcend, go get a card that First Tenet of Chi Tide will target, which in this list is actually only Key Unleashed. I didn't end up running many combo cards, mainly because I didn't have all that many, but also I chose not to run some of the yellow ones. I believe I had a yellow Breed Anger, but I thought I had enough recursion for my cards that I cared about with my mask and my Chi card that gets it back into the deck. I will say that I don't believe I ever played Wind Chakra. I think Wind Chakra is a cool card, but personally, I prefer it at blue for its ability to activate your Transcend cards. The best card in the deck, I felt like, was Flex Claws or Untamed. These are cards that I would pick as pack one pick ones in a draft, especially Untamed, because you have so many cards that do get you Tigers, and the ability to play Untamed and then attack with your staff off of one blue pitch and then come in with a Tiger for 2 is pretty good. That is effectively a 2-card 8. I know that Tigers are a card in themselves, and you will have to have played something else to get the Tiger, but you can always Arsenal a Tiger. I found myself doing that quite a bit in this game. I also, at one point, had a Tiger in my deck from Emissary of Wind, so I found that that was a good use of Tigers. I think I really overlooked Emissary of Wind at first, and your ability to... This card actually just turns Tigers into 4 attack, if you're able to make it in hand. It says that your Mystic Tiger cards make a Tiger for 4. That's a good way to think of it in my mind. But don't listen to what's in my mind. So the 30-card deck minimum and maximum felt good. I will also say that the 8 packs felt really good. Quite frankly, I can't imagine what this list would look like if I was limited to 6 packs, because this list to me is not all that exciting, but it did perform pretty well. My first game I lost, and it was against another Zen. And what I learned from that game was that I was running too many chi, and I wasn't running enough of the break points, which is how I got back on Emissary of Wind and Wounding Blow. And then after that, I don't think I really made many changes. I think that I probably, after that first round, added 2 droplet. I remember now, I added 2 droplets, and I added the cards in the 1 cost slot there. I believe they're called Rising Tide, but it's a 3 that pumps to a 5. And I felt that that was good because I had a lot of cards with a 1 cost. And that way I could potentially play 2 cards that have a 1 cost off of a blue pitch and end with a Rising Tide for 5. Ultimately, I found that that card was not really working for me, and that I wanted more 0 costs, because if you have a hand that is just full of 1 costs, your staff can be kind of awkward in that you can either choose to typically do like 2 attacks without the staff, or an attack, the staff, and a Tiger. And it just wasn't really working all that well for me. So I was pretty happy with this list in the end. I liked the pre-release for this set. I didn't love it. I do think this is a very cool set. I'm excited to play Draft. I'm a little bit concerned that it's going to have a lot of feel bad moments, or feel bad games rather. But when I think about Bright Lights, which to me had a lot of games end in feel bad moments, I think that this set is going to be better. And I think that Chi introduces something really fun to the limited environment. I know a lot of people did pretty well not running any Chi. So all in all, I had a good time. I didn't really pull anything great, and I was bummed by that, but that's how it goes. And I'm happy for the people who did pool some heat, but it's really about having fun and showing up for the community. So I hope that everyone was able to get out to a pre-release. If you weren't able to, I hope you make it to a draft or an armory soon. Let me know how you did at your pre-release. Let me know what cards you pooled that you were really excited about, what decks you played, what you thought worked well in the format, what you thought didn't work so well. And I look forward to seeing you in another video. Thanks, guys.